Hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. IFBB Pro Nick Thomas here. So, I think today is going to be pretty simple. We're not going to get into too much, anything crazy. I think we're going to have a shoulder day today in the gym. I'm going to go to House of Gains. I like the equipment they have over there. But I've been getting a lot of questions lately about my, my competitions and how I get prepared, and a lot of the questions have been centered around PED use, drugs. Am I natural? We'll talk about that. So I'm someone who's pretty open, transparent. I think that if you're in this industry and you have eyes on you, have people who are aspiring to do what you do, you should be up for, straight up, be straightforward with them. Don't beat around the bush, because, it's not going to help them. And really it'll only hurt your image, right? When they find out that you are hiding things, just about how you got to where you're at. So we're going to talk about, the PEDs, the PED side of IFBB Pro Life, men's physique at least, and I'm gonna go through what I'm doing. Stay tuned for that, and we'll get to it right after this workout. All right, guys. So we are back from the gym. We got a pretty good shoulder session in at House of Gains. We are at this point, we're about 3 weeks out from the Republic of Texas Pro, a Galvanized Productions show here in Austin, Texas. Things are looking good. I'm coming in even tighter than I did for the DC Pro, which is great. I think for the show, we're really going to concentrate on seeing if we can get, my physique a bit fuller, which is going to help add the effect of more conditioning. Even though I looked absolutely peeled at the DC Pro, more conditioning doesn't hurt, right? So, PEDs, steroids, anabolics, the juice. Had a lot of people asking me questions as of late, if I was a natural athlete or not, and things along that line. So what I will say is, no, I'm not natural. I believe in keeping things totally transparent, telling the truth. I think it's my responsibility as a professional bodybuilder, a member of the IFBB, to be totally transparent, especially for young guys who are looking to get into bodybuilding. And I think being straight up with them and sharing my experiences is very, very important to help them make informed decisions. What I will say, what I want to preface everything that I'm about to go into, is that I am not a medical doctor. Okay, do not listen to anything I say. In fact, everything that I say is stupid and dumb, and you should just ignore me right now. Okay, this is for entertainment purposes only. Anything I do not emulate. I am not telling you to do this. I'm not telling you to partake in any of these compounds. Do with that what you will. Okay. So I got that out of the way. But I'm in the IFBB, International Federation of Bodybuilding. I'm a professional bodybuilder. When you're on that level, there are things that you have to consider if you want to make sure that you stay competitive. I started, in the realm of, assisted bodybuilding 5 years ago. I was well past my 30s. I had been in the gym for a while, played competitive basketball in high school and college. I'd been lifting in the gym for a while. I'd done a few shows already, and I was like, okay, it's time to step into the world of PEDs. I really like the sport, and I want to see how far I can go in it. So I decided to make that choice, and it's a choice that everybody needs to take and sit and consider. And get some good information and make a well-informed decision. Don't just jump into it, hastily, because once you step into this, it's a lifelong decision for some people. Let's see. And again, I'm not going to give any doses. I don't want anybody to go out there and try to emulate what I do, because PEDs are just like a diet. One diet is going to work for one guy, and that same diet isn't going to work for the next guy. Workouts as well. A certain workout is not going to work for everybody. It takes time to learn these things and make tweaks and changes to see what's the most optimal thing for you, okay? So, and then again, remember, I've been doing this for a sum of years, and I am a professional. So there are two kind of phases as far as PED usage goes, right? So there's a mass building phase. That's the phase where you're growing. That's what traditionally has been known as the bulk phase. I don't like saying bulk because that has a lot of negative connotations on there. But and then there's the pre-contest phase, or the phase where you're getting ripped and shredded and you're getting ready to step on stage for a show. So for my mass building phase is real simple. There are a couple compounds I'll use. The first one being testosterone in F8. I like that compound. It's never really given me any bad side effects. I don't run it very high. I've heard of guys running it. The normal, kind of sweet spot for guys is 500. That's the classic. Yeah. So testosterone, and then I think that the second compound there is going to be Primo. I do run that in the off season. Classic Arnold compound. Arnold loves it. He swears by it. Primo is one of those compounds that is going to have the least amount of side effects. And it's also a compound that, as far as muscle that you build, it's muscle that'll stay. I've found more often than not. There's a lot of things you'll take that will increase the red blood cell and the nitrogen retention and make you look big, but then when you're off of it for 3 to 4 weeks, you kind of shrink back down. It's not like that with Primo. What you build actually stays. So I run Primo in the off season as well. And then I will throw in a Nandrolone into the mix. Usually it's been Deca, Durabolin. I run Deca, not at a high dose at all. I keep it really, really low. And I think, less is more, to be honest with you. Because, the more you run, the higher dosages you run, the more you're at risk of running into negative side effects. So you got to always keep that in mind. So I usually run Deca at a very low dosage. And I run Deca for the restorative properties of it, for the joints, and just for the overall mood that Deca gives you. Some people say Deca makes them feel anxious. It doesn't for me. I feel great. I feel happy. Primo does that as well. It gives you a nice euphoric kind of feeling. I run Deca, and Deca is known for its strength gains. It's known for its mass gains. So I run that. Some people have issues with water, raising water retention, blood pressure going up. I'm going to try the fast acting ester of Deca, my next mass building phase, which is NPP. NPP is Deca. It's just a fast-acting ester. There's less water retention with NPP, but you still have those, the strength and the size and the joint restorative properties that go along with NPP. So that's it for the mass building compounds. And then we move on into the pre-contest, the stuff that's going to get you ripped, dry, and shredded, right? So testosterone stays. It is the foundation. Testosterone and enanthate. I do not switch to propionate. I don't want to pin myself every single day. There's no point in that. People think that, you'll hold less water with propionate. Not true. All that has to do with your diet. If you're eating sloppy while you're on test E, you're going to hold more water and you're going to get fat. Diet is everything. It's key, even above the drugs. So, pre-contest, test E stays in there. And then the next compound I would use would be Masteron. Love Masteron, the drying effect of Masteron, the hardening effect that it brings. That's why I use it. That's really, there's not much to Masteron. It's lower on the end of side effects. And when I say lower on the end of side effects for any of these compounds, you have to keep in mind the higher you run anything, the more apt you are to run into some negative side effects. So, but I've never experienced any issues with Masteron. Next will be, the golden boy, Tren acetate. So I do run Tren, and I run the ACE ester if I run into any issues. I never have. I've run it multiple times, and I've never really had any issues. But the acetate ester is in and out of your system within 48, maybe 36 hours. It's out. If you're running Tren and enanthate, that's in there for at least a week. So you have to deal with those side effects for that long. But I run Tren-Ace, again, for the nitrogen retention properties of Tren-Ace, the protein synthesis, it's a beast. It's one of the harsher compounds you can take. But again, all of this you have to take with a grain of salt because this is all dose dependent. The the negative side effects are going to be, lose sleep, which I have that issue, right? So And it's not that I can't fall asleep. It's just me staying asleep through the entire night. Like I'll wake up like 4 or 5 times during the night, but I usually fall asleep. So on that end, it's not bad. And some people sleep really deep, regularly, but this tends to make me be more of a light sleeper. Like my wife is a light sleeper. Like you make one little sound, she'll wake up. That's how I am on it. Like if I hear one little sound, like I'm up. So I think that's why I wake up that many times through the night. The other negative side effect with Tren is going to be night sweats. I usually get it right when I start, for a week or so. Like I'll wake up and the bed is soaked. And I have to lay a towel down and all that stuff. And then it'll happen when I stop using it. So after a couple weeks, it's coming out of my system. I'll start to have those sweats again for another week. And after that, it's pretty much everything's all good. But yes, I do run Tren. It is harsh. But I play it safe. And with all these compounds, I do nothing that my coach doesn't tell me to do, right? So my coach is very well known. He's one of the top coaches in the industry, definitely for men's physique. He has classic physique competitors, 212 bodybuilders. I suggest before you consider running any of these compounds, you get the advice of someone who knows what they're talking about, someone you can trust. And I wouldn't run these things if I didn't trust him and trust his word. So that's key. So again, so for pre-contest, we got Test, we got Masteron, we got Tren. The next compound is going to be an oral. We're going to be doing 2 orals. I usually do. First oral is going to be Winstrol. Again, the drying and hardening effect of the Winstrol. Winstrol is harsh on the joints. It dries the joints out. So when you have that drying effect with a compound, you're going to have to be careful of your joints, shoulders, elbows, knees, your hips. Winstrol, definitely. I run Winstrol. Winstrol, negative side effects. It's harsh on, your lipids. So you got to watch your cholesterol, LDL, HDL. And you got to make sure you have your own cycle supports. Things for your liver, things for your kidneys, and again, this is all dose dependent. If you're slamming, 100 mgs, 150 mgs of Winstrol tabs, you're going to smoke your kidneys and your liver. Don't do that. Don't do that, because you jack up. You only got one liver. Okay, you jack up your kidneys. That's bad. Okay, so make sure you're running your own cycle supports. And then the next oral compound would it's definitely Proviron. Again, I use Proviron again for the just the aesthetic aspects of Proviron gives. Helps with the hardening, helps with the vascularity. It does help with dryness. It has some estrogenic effects as far as dropping, estrogen. Which helps you look dry. So I use Proviron, that's about it. Another thing I do take an AI, Novodex, aka tamoxifen. I take that every night, 0.5 grams of that, just a half a tab. That pretty much controls any kind of issues with estrogen or gyno or that kind of thing. Now, if we step back to the mass building phase, we're taking nandrolones. You have to watch your progesterone. So you might want to have something like Pramipexole or Caber on hand. I use Caber very sparingly because Caber can be very harsh, just on your markers. So I'll probably dose Caber once every 3 days when I'm on an androlone, and actually when I'm on the pre-contest, because I'm taking Tren. So that's about it. Have all your cycle supports, liver, kidneys. I would suggest taking something for like blood pressure, just to make sure your blood pressure's down. That's you get your bloods run, okay, and this is prior to even starting anything. Go get your blood markers are in before a cycle, to see where you are and to see if you're even in a state healthy enough to start something like this, to tax your body like this. And then I would suggest getting your bloods run mid-cycle to see how the compounds have been affecting you, if you need to pull back or even stop, or if you have the leeway to add a few things or to bump something up, and then after the cycle, okay, to see where you're at, to see the things that you need to do to kind of get yourself in a restorative phase to help bring your markers back down to normal. So that's it. Those are the compounds I run. Again, do not do what I do. Please don't message me and ask me, what dosage I'm taking, how long I take it, if I have any contacts for you to get any of these things, because I'm not going to give it to you. So I hope this was helpful. I hope this answers a lot of curious questions that people had. So yes, I think the next video we're gonna do is gonna be a chest day, and I'm gonna take you guys through chest. And again, you're not getting the comments. If there's anything you want to see, out of these videos, anything that I'm not doing that you guys need, let me know, and I'll try to get on that for you. But other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.